Now, okay, guys, you differentiate to find the the slope. Then we get 3x squared minus 18x plus 24. The slope equals 0 for the max and mins. So what you're going to get is x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Then you're going to get x minus 2 and x minus 4 equals 0. Then x equals 2 and x equals 4. Are you cool with that? Go back to the original equation and sub in 2 and 4. You happy enough to do that yourselves? Go back to the original equation and sub in 2 and 4. What happens? What are the y values you get when you do that? Anybody know the y values?
0, 2.
So it's going to be 2, 0, and 4 minus 4. Now, it's safe to say 4 minus 4 is the minimum, isn't it? Because the y value is lower than 0. But in Leavenscert, you have to do the what's called the second derivative test. So we're going to differentiate the first derivative the second time. When you differentiate that, did anybody get 6x minus 18? Okay. What happens when you test 2? What you get? Minus 6 is less than 0, which makes it the max. And then what happens when you sub in 4? You get 6, which is bigger than 0, which is the min. Okay with that? Now, I'm actually going to make this question partly harder than it currently is, just to prepare you for a more difficult question that could be asked. Alright? So here's what we're going to change it instead. Right? See the way it breaks it up like this? Yeah? It doesn't have to give you that. You could be asked to get that. You get what I'm saying? You could be asked to get that. So, if you're asked to get that, here's what I recommend. This is all the way back to the factor theorem. Okay? Now here's what you're going to do. You take the last part. See the last part? Okay? You take factors of that. You could have minus 1, 1. You could have minus 2, 2. You could have 4, minus 4. You get the gist, don't you? And you can sub them in and figure out which ones work, couldn't you? What's quicker than that, however, is using your table function. Okay? So you throw in your table function like so. And I'm just going to cover a bit of factor theorem while I'm here, because it does two things with one question. Okay? So plus 24x. So if I was asked to solve this, okay, and start, I don't know, minus 10 plus 10. I'm going to look for the first time it crosses the axis. When does it cross the axis? Anybody? There we go. 2, 0, everybody. You cool with that? When does it cross it again? 5, 0, doesn't it? Now, I can either take x equals 2 or x equals 5. I can take either one. What can I do then? I can say that x minus 5 is a factor of what? Exactly. I can then proceed to do long division. Okay? And I do long division, what will happen is I'll get x squared, then I'll get x cubed minus 5x squared. Change it to a minus like so. And what do I get then? Minus 4x, is it? Yeah. The next one's going to be take it away. So go for plus minus, that's 4x minus 20, and it goes in 4 times, doesn't it? Everybody kill so far? Right, and then they just cancel. That's happy days, right? Now, what I'm getting at here is that you should be able to find out the other parts. If I was to solve that equation equal to 0, what would be my two answers? It's x minus 2. It's a repeated root. So what does that mean? X minus 2 by x minus 2, which is going to be x equals 2. And the other answer is x equals 5. That means a repeated root, doesn't it? Because it happens twice. It doesn't go under the x-axis and back up again. It hits it twice. So if I was to get to GeoGebra here, and it's just to basically sneakily draw this, okay? What's the function there, Colin? Give me the equation. No, sorry, yeah.
The original one.
Yeah, x cubed
Minus 9x squared.
Minus 9x squared, yeah.
Plus 24x.
Minus 24. Yeah. Minus 20. No. Oh dear. Read that one more time. X cubed.
Minus 9x squared.
Yeah.
Plus 24x.
Plus 24x. There we go. Alright. So does that verify what I told you? That it hits the point 2 but doesn't go through it. Is that alright? Now, I'm going to show you something else that's really weird. I'm going to graph the derivative. And do you know what will definitely happen with the derivative? The derivative will cross the axis at the maximum. So it'll cross the axis at 4. And it'll also cross the axis at 2. Because that's where the derivative equals 0. So the first derivative equals 0. I'll have to cross here and here. So if I was to sketch the derivative, they often ask this. So what's the derivative?
3x squared.
3x squared, yeah.
Minus 18.
Minus 18x, yeah.
Plus 24.
Sorry, I looked up 3x squared there. 3x squared minus 18x, yeah. And
Plus 24.
oh, I see where I went wrong there. Three x squared minus 18x plus 24, correct? What you notice about the U-shaped function? Crosses the axis of 4 because the derivative, the slope is 0 when the y value of the derivative is 0. So slope is 0 here, so that's 4, 0. And that's why it's an x coordinate of 4. And then it crosses at 2, which is why there's an x coordinate of 2 as well. So look, that was a bit of extra information. You didn't really need to go through all that, but I just wanted to show you what you could be asked, all right? So, if you multiply this out, what happens when you multiply this out? When you multiply this out, you basically get the answer on, when you multiply the left-hand side, you get the answer on the right-hand side. But what you don't know is that he's basically telling you this. They're basically telling you that this equals 0. This means it crosses the axis at 5. It crosses the axis at 2 twice. And what's the max and min from earlier? What's the maximum and minimum from earlier? 2, 0, and? How many points do you have now to use? Sorry? Yeah, you actually only have 3 points. Yeah? Now, if you're sketching something in a test, are you going to settle for those 3 points, or you're just going to lob it into the calculator anyway? I'll just lob it in the calculator anyway and do a good sketch. My sketch is the blue line, okay? Happy enough? But I'm not going to make a sketch out now. It's no point. Alright, let's have a look at, yeah, I wish. Alright, so there's 16 to be done. I'll go for one more up here. Alright, which one looks the worst? It's Gaffer's Gaff time. Alright, go on. Which question do you want to pick? Gaffer's gamble. 17, 18, 19, or 20? Me.
We can do.
Good call. Always pick the one furthest closest to the end. Alright, so this is one I shall do. Alright. Alright. Now. Alright. It's actually quite handy. C equals 1400 b to the minus 1. Why did I do that? Yeah, I don't want to do the quotient drill. Not on a Friday afternoon. No. Alright. So I'm going to do dz to c to what? C to v. Go and differentiate that. Minus 1 to the front. And then that. Differentiate the v, what happens? Plus 2/7. When it is a minimum, the slope is 0, so equals 0, right? And now what we're going to get is 2/7 equals 1,400. What is 1,400 v minus 2? 1,400 divided by squared. V squared on its own is going to be 7 times 1,400 divided by 2. I believe that to be 4,900. And if that's 4,900, square root that to get 70. Can 70 be, is allowed to be positive and negative, or does it have to be positive? Yeah, you can't travel minus 70 kilometers. You have to travel plus 70 kilometers. So v equals 70. Is that all I want? Done. Do the second derivative and verify it is a minimum. Alright, Killian, what's the second derivative?
1,400
Multiply minus 2 by minus 1,400.
Oh,
280 v minus 2/7. Gone. Sub in v equals definitely positive, isn't it? 2,870 to the power minus 3. And what do we get? Oh, here, just 2 over 2. It's positive anyway. So what does that mean? Minimum. You picked me an easy one, buddy. Delighted I am. Delighted. Calculate the minimum costs. No worries. Insert 70 back into the original equation. And what happens there? I'm going to get 140 divided by 7, which is 20 as well. 20 plus 20, 40 quid. And we're done. So, in class today, I did 15 and 20. For homework, you guys are going to do 14, 16, 18 and 19.